Welcome to Martechify. I'm Ekaterina Konovalova, the Martechify Program Director. For those who are just joining us, Martechify is a community of marketing professionals interested in digital marketing, marketing technology, and AI. A lot of our audience members are VPs, directors, senior executives, but also we have a lot of audience members who are new in their career, just recently graduated, and these folks reached out to my team and asked to provide more content about shifts in higher ed and how new graduates can stay more competitive with the recent market shifts. So that's why today I reached out to Dr. Ethan Pugh, who is the program director for Masters of Science in Marketing at the University of Texas in Austin. Welcome, Dr. Pugh.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to chat.
I'm too. So can we start talking about how do you combine theoretical knowledge in your curriculum with the rapid shift in marketing technology? Obviously, everybody is talking about AI these days. So it's known that in academia, sometimes it's more challenging to incorporate some of those latest tools, but I'm sure UT is quite innovative in this space. So tell us a little bit more about how do you combine theoretical knowledge with practical application?
Such a great question. So, as an educational institution, as a program that is graduating students with bachelor's and master's and doctoral degrees, we're primarily focused on that foundational educational development. We want students to learn how to think in their programs. Along the way, they're going to learn a lot about how to use lots of different programs. In the business school, in particular, we spend a lot of time with Excel, but students are picking up RStudio and Python and SQL and all sorts of other platforms related to analytics. And in addition, they have lots of opportunities to learn other software packages that may apply in any particular career context. And I think that the sort of interesting substantive point from an educational perspective is that this is really the distinction between education and training. There are lots of opportunities for students to upskill and take courses through LinkedIn Learning or Coursera to get familiar with different contexts. But what I tell students in MSM is that the single most important platform to know is the one that your future employer uses. So we don't know what that's going to be right now, but if they are exposed to many different platforms and have really strong foundations in thinking about how data and information flow and how that's going to get translated into an insight, then we've prepared them well for the real world and they can quickly get up to speed on any particular software.
So does it mean UT has subscriptions with Adobe, maybe Pardot? Do they learn marketing automation tools? Are you exposed to any customer data platforms, journey orchestrations?
So we have courses that will integrate those in sort of on a course by course basis, depending on the faculty interests. So that could include Salesforce, Pardot, Marketo, HubSpot, Hootsuite, lots of data visualization. So thinking about Tableau and other sorts of contexts that they have opportunities to get exposure. They're also regularly using Slack as part of their communications with faculty and other students and coordinating. So they're getting lots of exposure to what things look like, but it's not a primary objective that we want to make sure that students have a particular platform that they've experienced, but rather that we are giving them exposure to platforms that are useful. In the MSM program, for example, we've added in Microsoft Power BI as one of the platforms that we want students to have exposure to because that's come up a handful of times with our capstone clients that they would like output in this platform, or this is the software package that they're invested in. And so we're wanting to make sure those students are aligned. And that's really the way that we're thinking about the different opportunities for students to engage with various data platforms and marketing technology.
And I love that. And you briefly touched on employers, what's important to their employers. So tell me more about how you build partnerships with future employers, and also, do you see a shift in where the students are hired these days? Are they going to startups, tech companies? What trends do you see these days?
Great questions. So we have a lot of very wonderful partners at McCombs. From the dean to the department to the program level, we have these advisory councils of representatives from organizations that tell us, here are the things that we're working on. This is what we want students to know as employees or future employees of our companies. And so there's a lot of discussion around curriculum and skill development, and of course, how that ties into marketing technology and platforms, or technology and platforms more broadly across lots of different programs. So it's an ongoing dialogue. We're also giving them guidance to say, here are the things that students are really excited about. This is how they're contemplating their careers. And so we have this nice alignment and opportunity for everyone to think about how we're going to set up students for success in the program and beyond. In terms of where students are getting jobs, those partners that we work with through our advisory councils are interested and invested because this is their pipeline for talent in the future. But interestingly, what we see is that it's a very long tail distribution. So in the MS marketing program, over the past 3 hiring cycles, there have been roughly a dozen companies that have hired 2 or more people across that 3 years. Sometimes it was 3 in 1 year, sometimes it was 5 in 1 year, other times it was hire 1 year, skip a year, hire a year. So what that means is that we have a lot, 97 other unique companies over that same 3-year period that hired exactly 1 student. And in conversations with our career team that works with a lot of our hiring partners for recruiting, so this is actually fairly typical, that there's lots of talent and there are lots of great companies that are hiring, and sometimes it's in volume and other times it is really relatively specialized. We want someone who can do this particular thing, and we have 1 spot on our team for that. And so what we have to do is help students think through, what are your goals? What are the things that you want to accomplish? Where do those opportunities exist? Are they in Austin, Texas? Are they in Texas? Are they on the coast? Is it a particular industry? Is it a particular type of company? And then give them tools and guidance to help find alignment for what it is that they want to do in their careers.
Let me just recap to make sure I understood what you said. It sounds like you don't see a lot of employers, let's say Meta showed up and hired 20 students. It's more individual companies hire 1 to 2 to 3 students from each graduating class. Is that correct?
Within program or major. So across all of McCombs or all of UT, I think that Meta is probably hiring dozens or hundreds of students. But when we get into those granular levels of, is there a spot on a marketing team for someone with 0 to 3 years of experience, or for an MBA student to join as a manager, those are going to be a little bit more targeted. So there are large partners that hire a lot, but when we start to look at sort of the unfolded version at the program level or major level, it tends to be more distributed.
Okay. And do you see any particular industries? So for instance, I'm based in Pittsburgh and we have a lot of life sciences, medical companies, industrial companies, though there's Dick's Sporting Goods and other big retailers as well. And Texas has a pretty wide range of employers. So what are you seeing these days with employment? Is it a particular niche of industries or it's very different?
So it's interestingly different year to year. There are different segments of the economy that are picking up speed at different rates. And so the past couple of years within the marketing group, we've seen lots of students that are going into retailers and agency side and thinking about how we're going to build and optimize campaigns and leverage a lot of those marketing technology tools. In other years, we've seen that students will go into financial services or other health-related types of companies, and so it shifts around from year to year. And I think that for everyone on the employer side, the thing to keep in mind is that there's really great talent. The students that are coming out of our programs are getting better every single year, and thinking about how to tap in where there are opportunities is always interesting and exciting, but that you're not necessarily competing against a massive Goliath like Google or Meta or Netflix or any other company that is, inhaling all the talent in bulk, but rather there are lots of really phenomenal students that are excited about a wide range of opportunities.
Excellent. What about entrepreneurship? So I know some students obviously would like to be hired by traditional employers, but others, and I know UT has a lot of entrepreneurial programs, they may be interested in trying their chances as new Mark Zuckerbergs or other cool tech startups. So can you cover the entrepreneurial part of the program and what opportunities are available to students?
Such a great question. So I think there's two different answers to this. One is that all of the students that are coming through UT Austin do have that entrepreneurial spirit and ambition, and they're thinking about how could I do something a little bit different. And so in our capstone projects, we saw that there was a student team working with a large tech company, and they said, here is what we think is interesting. Let's examine all of your email campaigns, and we'll look and see where there's friction as part of your sales cycle and business development. So they performed some analysis, and they said, okay, here's how we can introduce some AI prompting and tools that we can then A/B test and figure out what are the right things that are sticky and they're going to increase traction, and then hand it off back to their clients. Here's the recipe book that you can follow and do this on your own that we've tested and built out for you. And so it's really about understanding what are the workflows that are going to make lots of other people better. And so this is a large tech company where lots of smart people are working on things, but these students are showing up and saying, here's a fresh way of looking at this. So I think that there's definitely some entrepreneurial elements that show up there. In the more sort of traditional entrepreneurial category, we had a student that graduated from the MS marketing program last May, who in his application essay said, my dream job would be to do something related to marketing and analytics in the golf industry. And he ended up landing a really phenomenal role with a golf virtual reality company, thinking about how you can build out customer experience and think about customer acquisition. And this is a growing space that is set to change how people, interact and play golf, and that it's a new sort of hybrid video game type of opportunity that's maybe different and unique and attracting a new segment of golfers as compared to sort of the traditional outdoor type of golf. So really interesting, exciting. The company it was founded by a set of Macombs grads as a new innovative way to explore the golf industry. And so students in the marketing programs are excited and enthusiastic about jumping in, especially when it aligns with something they're passionate about.
Oh, I love it. That's such a good example. So as we're wrapping up our conversation, do you have any thoughts, suggestions, ideas for either future students, those who are in the program right now, or recent graduates, how they can be more successful, improve their chances to find good employment, be relevant, and have fulfilling careers? What can you tell them to inspire them?
Number one is to be curious and ask lots of questions, explore, find some new interesting way to investigate a problem, develop a perspective and point of view on that topic, and then you have something interesting to contribute. The other thing that we talk about is the value of asking questions and getting to know people and learning as part of building your network, not just in the sense of networking, but that it's really critical from a career standpoint to build relationships before you need them. And so if you're approaching your career as through this lens of curiosity and asking lots of questions and learning about cool things that people are working on, that's building the foundation for those relationships that you'll be able to connect others and find new interesting opportunities in the future.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.